risotto, but it can be time consuming and a little bit tricky, but not in the Ninja Foodi. This is absolutely delicious. We use the steam air fry function, and honestly, it is so simple to create a beautiful risotto using this method. So today's flavors are going to be salami and peas, because that's what I've got in my fridge, and it's always good to use things up. You can switch it up, change the flavors a little bit if you want to, but it gives you a great basis for making a really nice creamy risotto. We're going to put butter and Parmesan in it at the end, and it is super delicious. I hope you really like the recipe. If you do, don't forget to hit the like button for me. And if you'd like the full printable recipe, then that's available over on my website, which is www.susannahskitchen.uk. So thanks so much for joining me, clicking on the video. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe down below. It's free to do so. And let's go and make dinner.
Let's make a really quick and delicious salami risotto with peas. So some spray oil in the bottom of my pot. I've got it on sear and saute already, so that's warmed up nicely. I have got one shallot, and that is diced up, ready to go. And in with that, I'm going to add 70 grams of sliced salami. I just want to cook this down, get a little bit of colour on the onion, and really crispen up this salami before we go ahead and cook our risotto. Now this only takes a few minutes really to get this going. I'm on level 4 on the sear and saute. Just want to get a little bit more colour on some of these slices of salami, just breaking them up as we go, trying to make sure we don't stick too much as well to the bottom of the Ninja pot. Although we're going to be adding in some hot water, so it will deglaze it once we get going with the rice. Right, I'm happy with that. I'm going to pour in my arborio rice, which is perfect for a risotto. In here, I've got 200 grams. So give that a little stir through. And that's going to take on the flavours that we've got in the pot there. We're obviously going to add more flavour to this. I like to add black pepper and some salt. I'm using Italian herbs, and I want a good tablespoon. And then a teaspoon of garlic granules will be nice in here as well. Let's give that another stir. I mean, you really can add whatever you want to this. It's entirely up to you to what flavours. I mean, you could add in chicken to this dish as well as the salami if you wanted to. Swap it out for pepperoni. You know, lots of things are going to work in this dish. And I've got 900 millilitres of stock. You can use vegetable or chicken stock, whatever you prefer. There you go. I mean, it always looks like a huge amount of stock. I'm just going to give that a little mix, trying to break up that stock pot that I put in there. It hasn't dissolved fully, but it will do in the cooking process, so I'm not too worried. Yeah, looks like a huge amount of stock, but I promise you it's the right quantity that you're going to need for this dish. We're going to be steam air frying it, and that's all I'm adding in at this stage, and the rest of the flavours will come at the end. Okay, so we want to flick over to the centre. That's our combi steam mode, and the function we're looking for is steam air fry, and I like to do mine on 200 for 17 minutes. We've used hot stock, so building up of the steam shouldn't take too long. And then it will start counting down the 17 minutes after that, and it should be perfect. And we're going to then be adding in some butter, some Parmesan, and I've got some peas as well. That took less than 2 minutes because we used that boiling hot stock. Just speeds up the process a little bit for you, especially if you're making this midweek and you need a fast family dinner. I've got my butter, my Parmesan, and also my peas ready. So with my peas, I just lay them out on a plate whilst I'm cooking. Just helps to defrost them a little bit before we then add them into the pot. We're coming down, there you go, looks like we should be ready. Let's have a look where we're at. Let's give this a stir. Now we actually have liquid here still. Now that's interesting. I used a different brand of arborio rice tonight because that's what I got in my shopping. And clearly it's cooked slightly differently, hasn't it? I think that's going to need a bit more time. So I'm going to close the lid and I'm going to carry on cooking. Now this is interesting because a few of you sometimes say to me, tried your recipe, it didn't work exactly the same, I had to cook it longer, I had to cook it less. And I think this is exactly the reason why. Different produce is going to cook slightly differently. Even for me, when it's something that I've made time and time again, different brand and the outcome is slightly different. So don't ever panic about it, just put it back on to cook again. You can always open the lid as well during any steaming that you're doing, whether that's steam air fry, steam roast, whichever function you're using. It's just the pressure cook that you can't open the lid. So I hope that's helped you as well, because it's definitely been a bit of an eye-opener to me, because I was thinking my 17 minutes tonight is going to be perfect for my dinner, and it's just not. I've just opened the lid and honestly we're really not far off, but 17 minutes wasn't quite right with this brand. So I'm counting down from 5 minutes. I think we're probably going to need another minute and a half and we should be ready. I've been checking my risotto and I'm actually running for the full extra 5 minutes. 4 minutes might have been okay, but I wanted to go that little bit extra just so that when I add these bits in, it's kind of more of a firm and less sloppy texture, I suppose is the only way I can kind of describe it. So we have got just a few seconds left and we're ready to open up. Here we go. That is much better. It's crazy, isn't it? So I'm hoping that this shows everybody that, you know, sometimes I think people message and think my recipes are just, you know, wrong. It's not always the case that they're wrong, just a case of sometimes things do vary. So in with my peas and my butter. So butter is 25 grams. Peas are 150 grams because I wanted quite a lot in here. You don't have to go with as much as that, but I kind of like getting my veg in and I like peas a lot. So that butter's going to melt. The pot's lovely and warm, remember. And now to add your Parmesan. And again, you can add as much or as little as you want. I think 4 tablespoons is good. So this is serving 2 people. If you want it more cheesy, you go ahead. This changes the consistency completely and makes it risotto. That butter melting through there makes all the difference, and so does that Parmesan. And I think we are ready to serve up. I'm looking forward to this. Here goes. Let's get some on that plate. Michael is still recovering from his back surgery. If you're on my Facebook group, you probably know all about that. So I'm going to put his in a bowl for him. And it's just easy for him to be able to eat that. This looks really delicious. My son is missing out. He's not a lover of risotto. I can't believe it. I've cooked him something else tonight. Love risotto, it's so good. We might even have leftovers for tomorrow, if I'm honest. We'll see how hungry we are. Apparently my portions are quite small, a few people have said. I think my portions are pretty good, but you know, everybody's different, aren't they? So there you go, a really easy salami and pea risotto. That gorgeous Parmesan running throughout that. Delicious. I've just given it a little taste and it is absolutely delicious. I hope you enjoy the recipe. Please don't forget to hit the like button for me. and also subscribe if you're new to my channel. I hope you give the recipe a go.